Hi everybody. I'm back to do this pink and brown wreath. So I've done the two first rows and I used the first row, I went on to the second bar, and the third row is, I'm sorry, the first row I went on to the second bar, and the second row I put on the third bar. I'm not being able to use the fourth bar in this case because my petals are all going to stick up if I don't. And see, as you see, I've got a nice even area here. So I want to continue that into my next row. So what I've done is I've put my first petal in, and I came in probably a half an inch maybe in, okay, the length of my finger in front of the petal. So I've got one in here already. So I'm not, what I'm trying to do is create the exact same amount of space between my bars as I am on my mesh. So I want these petals to lay down. I don't want them to stick up too much. Like you see, like I've got my first one in there, and I pretty much have the same amount of space that I do as the other two. So I'm going to continue. I'm on the pink. I'm going to bring my camera down for you guys. So, that looks good. So again, I'm using the edges on the side, and the fused area is where I'm actually scrunching. So some people start it the other way, you know. I think maybe the petal might look a little bit nicer, but here I am. My zip tie is already in there. Please make sure that your hands are up. Try not to put your hands on the wreath so that, you know, you don't cause fraying. Especially with poly burlap, you know, it just needs to catch on something, and then, you know, that you're gonna have a fray. Probably have to change the petal and, you know, all of that. So we don't want that. So I try not to tie them down too tight because it just distorts the petal and it makes it stick up more. So I try and just kind of keep a limit, you know, on that. And if you look, my heads are all up. My OCD didn't work this time. They're all like sticking up. And now I'm seeing them. So I'm going to push them all down. Now, so what I did was, I'm in front of the brown, and I put the two actual pinks, and now I'm going to put a brown here. Because remember last time, on the last row, I started with one pink, and then I put the brown in so that it gave me a guide for my last pink, my last petal to be put down. So when I got there, it was my last pink one. Also, I have a correction to make. I told you guys that I had 7 petals per section, but when I got to the end, I was like 2 petals short. So I had to put in an extra petal in each section. So now I have 8, and one has 9. Because really, if you really look at this, it's really 3. I'm using 1, 2, 3. So I needed that odd number, but it's okay. I squeezed it all in there and it worked out just fine. So now I'm like working about 2 little holes from my mesh here away from my last petal. And I'm using 3 holes as per usual. Okay, I need to get a little closer. 1. And I'm leaving 2 holes in between. I'm using 3 holes, and I leave 1 in between. So here we are. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've got 1 hole in between. I actually used 3 holes in the mesh, and I'm leaving 2 in between my last petal and my new one. So now I'm on a brown. So I'm gonna take a brown here. Let's brush that up. Make it look pretty. I'm really liking this pink and brown. I was a little hesitant about it, but my daughter asked me to make a pink and brown one. And I went, that's really 70s, you know, right? So, yeah. But I'm liking it. I think it looks nice. So there we go. So I'm going to do a couple more for you. And it looks like I'm going to be using probably another round on here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with four rounds on this one. Okay. So now I'm back to pink. And just remember as well that when you get on the mesh, things start to shrink. So I put the exact same petals on row 1 and 2, but when you get to 3, you can't put the exact same amount of petals there because it's just not going to work. Your circle is actually getting smaller. So, you know, you just kind of have to, you know, make it look so that it is the same amount of petals, but it really isn't. Okay, so if you look underneath my you know, the way that I'm going here, you see how I'm like all even, but I'm, you know, a couple of meshes in between, mesh holes in between each petal, just to keep it on an even, you know. I just want to keep everything nice and even, and I still want this pattern to look exactly like what is going on here. It's just like I said, we're getting our circle is getting, it's shrinking, so we have to try and make it look like it's all the same. But this is looking really nice. I'm really enjoying this. I love this wreath. I know every time I make one, I always say the same thing. I just love this wreath. It's so rich looking. So now I'm on a brown. I think you guys, you know, can pretty much figure out, you know, what I'm doing here. I just wanted to repeat this tutorial because my camera was flipped the other way on my blue wreath, and I think I made another pinwheel, and my camera was flipped again, so I really wanted to make this with my camera the right way so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So you see, I've got pretty much the same amount of space here that I have here. And that's because I'm bringing my petals in, okay? So at least a half an inch in front of these, okay? So I'm gonna do a couple more for you because I'm only at 10 minutes on my video here. I feel like I'm chinsing you guys out. So we will do a couple more so you guys can see. I'm in the wrong place. I gotta come down one. Yes. And again, I'm using 3 holes, 1 in the middle. Oops. So my big purple wreath that I have here hanging on my wall here, and it's been here forever. I need to deliver this to my sister-in-law up north, so but it's been bothering me. You know, the middle part was black, and I always found that it was a little too small. So I'm going to show you guys what I did. I had to, it was just bothering me so bad. And I sent my sister-in-law an email this morning and let her know that I changed that middle, because it was just, I found it was too small. And that's exactly what I did, is I changed it. But I just changed it to one of my regular rope centers. It looks so much better. Now, I would love to have had found some black rope, but I have no idea where I would find black rope, you know, to be able to make one of these centers. That would be kind of cool though, eh, folks? Okay, so this is the last one I'm going to do for you. I'm going to end up doing one more round on here because, you know, it's not, this is a 10-inch form. And on a 10-inch form, you know, you end up probably with 4 rows, at least 4 rows. I don't like to go more than 4. Just don't like, you know, just because of the effect of the pinwheel. So here I am. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petals on it right now. And here's where I'm at. So, you know, I've got another, good 3/4 to go. So again, when I'm done this, I'm going to come in, you know, a good 1/2 inch in, and then I'm going to be using it right about here, and put another round in, and then I'll be ready for my center. But like I said, you know, you can see that I've got a good, you know, uniform space in between my petals here. So I'm liking what's going on. So I'm going to put this camera back up again. Things are getting better with this camera or this phone. Anyway, on that note, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in my next video. I would love some comments. I'd love to know, you know, what you guys want to see. That'd be great. But I would like to wish everybody a wonderful day, and keep those comments coming. And thank you for everybody watching my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's great. I'm over 200 now, and wow, this is amazing. I must be doing something right for you guys. So on that note, God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day.